In this video, I want to show you how I put together these coordinating heart decor pieces as well as the little vintage looking lock and key set using items from Dollar Tree. So make sure you are subscribed and give this video a big thumbs up.
Hello and welcome back to Krafts by Katelyn. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this part of the video. For less than $10 a month annually, whenever you sign up, you get access to tons of valuable classes and videos. They offer a ton of neat classes, anything from candle making to learning how to play the piano. So there is something there for everyone. They also have a ton of DIY videos. And for the first 500 of you all that go and click the link down below, you get 2 months free of Skillshare Premium, which is awesome. That'll give you a chance to try it out and see the things that you want to learn. I know one of my New Year's resolutions was to get better at some things, including my editing skills. They have a ton of classes on that, as well as my photography and videography. They've got classes on that as well, so I am excited. I've already been watching a ton of videos and learning so much. They also have some really neat hand lettering tutorials. So as many signs and things that I make, I definitely want to practice up my skills with some hand lettering. So make sure you hurry and go click the link down below so that you can try it out for yourself. Remember, you get 2 months free. So go ahead and check it out. There is definitely something for everyone.
To begin this project, I will be using 2 of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. I have really been enjoying using these in my crafts lately, and I really hope Dollar Tree brings out some more just plain wood decor like this because they are so nice to use on DIYs. I'm just going to begin by removing the ribbon and hangers at the top and removing the tags. I really do like how these are made. They are a very, very thin, fragile wood, so if you did want to make this a little more sturdy, you could glue these onto a pallet sign. I'm going to start just by giving them a base coat of this mineral chalk paint in the Waverly paint from Walmart, and just giving this a nice thick base coat to begin. This is one of my favorite colors in the paint right now. It is kind of in between a gray color and still have like a beige shade to it. So I do love how it dries, and it is darker whenever it soaks into the wood. Next, I'm going to be taking some of this brown color chalk paint, which is called Truffle, and I'm going to just be adding some little edges around there. I'm going to be mixing a little bit of the truffle on one side of my brush as well as some of the mineral color just to soften it a little bit so it's not so dark, and I just went around the edges of the hearts to give it a little bit more dimension. I did not worry about this being perfect at all. I just kept going in, and some places definitely are darker than the others, but it didn't matter to me because I do want this to look uneven and rustic. Whenever I hold these up side by side, you definitely can tell a huge difference in between where I have painted and added the extra brown paint in or just leaving it plain, and I think it makes a huge difference. I love how this looks. You all know that I use baby wipes a lot. I have kids, so I always have a ton of baby wipes, but I love after I have painted those just to take a little baby wipe and kind of smooth it out. It gives it much more of a lighter effect. While my hearts were drying, I wanted to go ahead and show you how I made that key, and I was so excited whenever I made these. I'm going to be using some small wooden dowel rods from Dollar Tree as well as some of the F's from the little wooden pack of wood letters, and then I already had these little wooden hearts from Target Dollar Spot, but they sell little wooden hearts anywhere, so you definitely could find them somewhere else. And I'm just going to be taking one of the dowel rods and then start by cutting that in half. The easiest way that I have found to do this is to just score the little wooden stick by turning it inside the scissors, and then I'm just able to break this apart really nicely with my hands, and then I cut off the extra little splinters that were left. To make the little piece at the bottom to give it more of that little skeleton key look, I'm going to be using a letter F. You also can use an E or an L or actually anything since keys always look different. I'm just trimming off a little bit of the edge of the F so it is not wider than the dowel rod, and I'm just going to add the hot glue and then glue that on there. I felt that this made a perfect bottom for the little key. I didn't like how it was on the left side, so I did end up removing it and then gluing it the opposite direction. Whenever I attach the wooden letter to the dowel rod, I let the glue dry for a few seconds and then ran my finger down the edges so it would smooth it out. I wanted my keys to look old and vintage, so I'm going to be using first some of this metallic silver spray paint. I do want my keys to have a vintage look to them and make them look older, but since my hearts are brown, since I went over them with the brown truffle paint, I really wanted these to stick out, and I do think that the silver and gray colors do stand out from the brown. After the shiny silver had dried, I went over them with a little bit of the dark gray elephant chalk paint, and I think this gave them the perfect little vintage look, but I am so excited with how these turned out, and I will be using those on everything. So at first I made 2 keys, and I thought that I would put a key on each heart, and then I thought it would be a really cool idea to make a little heart lock for the keys. So I'm going to be tearing that little heart off of the little bless your heart sign, and this came from Dollar Tree as well, and I just wanted this large little wooden heart. I'm giving it a base coat in the silver lining chalk paint. Since this was such a light color, I did have to go over this red heart with the letters about 3 coats of paint. Just for fun, I took my black paint marker and I added a little bit of lines around the edges just to give it a little bit of more of a cute look, whimsical look for Valentine's Day. I wanted my lock to look like it went with the keys, so I added a little bit of the elephant chalk paint around the edges to make it look more vintage as well and to coordinate really good with the keys. To add the little keyhole, I took my black paint marker, and I did look up on Pinterest to remember exactly what it should look like, and I just wanted the basic shape of it so you get the idea of it. To make the top of the lock, I just used a small piece of the Nautical Rope from Dollar Tree and hot glued that onto the back. I love the idea of adding bows on the top of this, so I just made 2 bows about the same size and then added those onto the top of the hearts. I made some super simple bows just by looping over the ribbon, and then I added an extra little piece to give them some tails. To put the bow together, I just am going to tie with a piece of jute string the looped ribbon along with that small piece, and I just scrunch these all together and double knot it, and then I can just fluff the bow up. To give it the pretty little ends, I just fold over the ribbon, and it gives it those little cut edges and at those little angles, and I think it looks more of a finished look. You better listen up, listen up. There's not a thing that I can. I wanted these almost to have like a shabby chic feel to them, so I'm going to be tying a super simple little bow out of some lace, ribbon from Dollar Tree, and then I can layer this bow to make it look really full. I As you can see, this is what my little lock and key look like together. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I think it's so cute. So to add these, I'm going to be using some more jute string, and I just added a little loop and then tied this around my bow. So the little locket was really easy. I just had to thread it onto the jute string, but the key didn't have anything for it to hook onto, so I just ended up having to hot glue it onto the jute string. I just put these together by hot gluing the lacy bow onto the burlap bow and then the burlap bow onto the wooden heart. I was kind of nervous that the key would fall off, or I didn't want it to flip around and show the ugly hot glued back, so I did tack it down with a little bit of hot glue itself. And then I did like the little lacy tails of the ribbon hanging down, so I did leave them a little bit long. You could stop right here. I think these are really cute and I love them, and this would be using Dollar Tree items, but my sweet friend gave me some cute little burlap roses and I did want to incorporate that into this craft. I am pretty sure that you can pick these up at Hobby Lobby, but I love these little burlap roses, so I just hot glued that into the center of these to give it a little bit more of a farmhouse chic look. You could definitely just put hidden little hangers on the back of these hearts if you didn't want anything to show, but I decided I really like the nautical rope sticking up, especially since it coordinates with the little lock heart. But this is what they look like when I got them all put together. I've always had a thing for vintage locks and keys, and I just love how they look, and I was so excited that I actually got to make that myself. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of the little DIY hearts and the little locket. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Bye!
Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know?